The United States and Zimbabwe share a friendship that began at independence. At the 1981 Zimbabwe Conference on Reconstruction and Development, the United States committed $225 million in loans and loan guarantees to rebuild after the war. Now, that spirit of support laid a foundation that continues today through partnership and people-to-people ties. And today, I'm joined by the United States of America Ambassador to Zimbabwe, Her Excellency Pamela Tremont. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's so nice to be with you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so honored to be here today. And Your Excellency, you've been here in Zimbabwe since 2024. What do you find interesting, or what do you like about Zimbabwe?
Well, you're right. I arrived almost exactly 2 years ago. On July 1st, it will be 2 years. And there's so much about Zimbabwe to love. I've had the opportunity to travel to all four corners of the country, from Mana Pools to Kariba, Vic Falls, Mtopos, Bulawayo, Mashvinga, Great Zimbabwe, Gonarajo, even Chimanimani. So I feel like I've seen I've seen the diversity of the country and really enjoyed the extraordinary sights and the flora and the fauna, but especially the warmth and the humor of the Zimbabwean people, who never cease to surprise me in terms of their energy and their creativity.
I love that. And I think I must say that, you know what, you traveling in all corners of Zimbabwe, the four corners of Zimbabwe, you've actually traveled more than some of the people who've been here since long before, like that. And now in 2026, how would you describe the United States and Zimbabwe relationship and the areas where cooperation is the strongest?
Well, as you described in your opener, we have been here since 1980. We were the first embassy to recognize the new Republic of Zimbabwe in 1980. And since then, we've supported the Zimbabwean people with over $5 billion in assistance in health and agriculture, everything from landmine removal to supporting the creative industries. So we have a strong foundation of partnership with the Zimbabwean people. And in the current administration, as we refocus the relationship away from assistance and more on trade and investment, our goals actually remain the same. We want a self-reliant, self-sustainable Zimbabwe that we can partner with on global issues and mutual security interests. So we're always looking to have substantive conversations with the government about how we can achieve those mutual goals.
So now, from your seat in Harare, what are the day-to-day examples of the United States-Zimbabwe collaboration that best reflect the strength of the bilateral relationship?
Well, of course, we have over 1,000 Zimbabweans and Americans who've participated in our exchange programs. Zimbabweans who've gotten to know the U.S. a little bit better, understand us, understand our values, and hopefully develop a little bit of affection for us Americans who've come here and have fallen in love with Zimbabwe and continue to work across the pond like that. We have so much to work on in terms of our relationships that we've built with over 4 decades of assistance in the health sector, in agriculture, and trade and investment. So there is so much to build on, and we're looking forward to taking that forward, particularly in trade and investment for both our countries' mutual prosperity.
Now, what priorities have you set for the United States Embassy in Zimbabwe this year to deepen the cooperation and expand opportunities for both countries?
Well, of course, this is a big year for us. It's the 250th anniversary of our independence. The signing of the Declaration of Independence took place 250 years ago on July 4th. So we have an entire year of events celebrating that. Celebrations, film showings, speakers, huge things all year long that we're looking forward to celebrating with our Zimbabwean counterparts, partly because it allows us to reflect on our values and our history and the things that made America what it is. And many of those things are shared by Zimbabwe. I think our constitutions are similar, our mindsets are similar. There's a lot of shared interest in innovation and ingenuity. So it also gives us an opportunity to think about what we want the next 250 years to look like, including in our relationship with Zimbabwe. But of course, this also kicks off a decade of sports for us. We hosted the FIFA World Cup in June and July. We hosted the Rugby Nations Cup, allowing the Zimbabwean Sables to go to the U.S. for the first time and play the U.S. team for the first time. We're looking forward to welcoming bring Zimbabwean athletes to the LA Olympics in 2028 and many other sporting events over the next year. So there's a lot of celebratory feeling for us this year, but on the substantive side, we really are doubling down on the trade and investment agenda, seeking that mutual prosperity that both our governments really want. And that includes being really supportive of the arrears clearance discussions and encouraging Zimbabwe to make the reforms needed so that it can eventually get access to the concessional financing from the multilateral development banks that it hasn't had access to for some years. And as part of all of that, we've also created an American Chamber of Commerce in the last few years. That organization helps the membership advocate for policies and reforms that make the investment climate more hospitable, not just to American companies, but all rule-abiding companies and even local entrepreneurs that struggle with some of the Byzantine procedures here in the uncertain regulatory environment.
And we have been seeing hashtag freedom 250 as well. And you know what you're saying also explains counterfeit theme as well that I've been seeing in terms of innovation and the shared, bilateral relationship. And but what is stopping the United States companies from investing in Zimbabwe? And what can Zimbabwe do to attract more investment?
Well, there is quite a lot of investment here already. Trade went up. Trade in goods alone went up almost 10% last year. And this is such a promising environment with so much arable land, unmatched tourism potential. I mean, nobody can recreate Vic Falls, right? The critical minerals in the ground, not to mention the human resources on the ground, the skilled labor. This should really be an investment magnet. And we talk to companies all the time who struggle with uncertain regulations where things change suddenly overnight that throws their business plans into disarray. They struggle with the surrender requirement that makes it difficult to import products that they need to pay U.S. dollars. They would struggle a little bit with corruption and the cost of doing business here. So we talk to those companies all the time, and we're in constant discussions with the government and ZETA about how we can make improvements together that will make more U.S. companies, more good quality investors want to come to Zimbabwe.
Definitely looking forward to that one in the future. And you know what, I think we also need to talk about trade as well, because that is also one very important relationship that the United States and Zimbabwe have. So for now, please do stay with us. We'll be right back. Trade and health are two pillars of the United States-Zimbabwe relationship. So Zimbabwe exports tobacco, ferroalloys, and sugar to the United States, while American machinery, electrical, and electronic equipment support Zimbabwean industry as well. So now in health, the United States has partnered with Zimbabwe since 2002 on family planning and HIV and AIDS prevention, and American expertise continues to drive real impact through training and technical support. Welcome back. This is the Diplomat's Couch, and now it is now time for us to talk about some trade, Your Excellency. So Zimbabwe sends tobacco, ferroalloys, and sugar to the United States and imports U.S. machinery and electronics. Where do you see the biggest opportunities to grow trade that benefits businesses and workers in both countries?
Well, those are huge sectors, of course. I was just at the agricultural show, ADMA, at the beginning of June, and I saw U.S. manufacturers of especially large equipment doing quite well there. There was a very clear appreciation for the quality and the service of American equipment in the agricultural sector, but also the technology that allows farmers to maximize their production while minimizing their use of fuel and fertilizer and seed. These are really innovative things that help farmers reduce their costs and increase their profits. So that was quite a popular thing for people who were visiting ADMA. Of course, we don't just import American goods here, we also have American companies investing here and creating jobs for Zimbabweans. There's a couple companies who are investing in horticulture, like blueberries and other things, creating hundreds of Zimbabwean jobs and really investing in their communities with schools and things like that. In mining, U.S. mining companies have world-class access to technology and expertise and capital that can really build out some of the critical minerals that Zimbabwe is looking to profit from for its people, and so U.S. companies are looking into that sort of thing. But I think one of the sectors that is often overlooked and not appreciated enough is the business processing and outsourcing. There's quite a few U.S. companies here who are hiring educated white-collar Zimbabweans to provide back-office services to companies in the U.S. And these are great formal sector jobs that don't extract anything, they don't require any expensive inputs or too much infrastructure. So we've worked closely with the government and ZETA on how to create policies that will attract more companies like that to come and create jobs for Zimbabweans.
Lovely. Now, since 2002, the United States has focused on family planning and HIV and AIDS prevention. Which health programs are delivering the most measurable results for Zimbabwean families right now?
Well, of course, we have to talk about the 1.2 million people who are on antiretroviral treatment and living healthy, productive lives as a result of the medications supplied by the United States. The 8,000 frontline healthcare workers whose salaries we pay so that those people can get their treatments. The laboratory services we provide to those health clinics, tuberculosis, malaria, commodities, that sort of thing. But we're really excited to introduce lenacapavir to Zimbabwe this year. This has been life-changing for people in the United States, and we're providing almost 90% of the doses that are being donated to Zimbabwe this year, and we think that's going to prevent thousands of new HIV infections. So that's a really important American innovation that we're excited to share with Zimbabwe. Now, as our programs end at the end of September, because the government declined our further health assistance, we're looking to work with the government on transitioning those programs to government responsibility to make sure people don't experience lapses in care. And, on the good news side, on the trade and investment sector, all of these things are private sector innovations that the government can and should be able to access after our programs end this year.
And I think the United States-Zimbabwe partnership is also about people and new ideas. So from training programs to technology workshops, these exchanges give Zimbabweans tools to grow and lead. Now, this is the third and final segment of the Diplomat's Couch. So now, Your Excellency, exchanges like Fulbright and U.S. speaker programs bring American experts and Zimbabwean professionals together in the same room. How do those people-to-people connections help young entrepreneurs build practical skills, networks, and ideas that can strengthen the United States and Zimbabwe's future economy?
Well, one of our biggest investments in Zimbabwe has been in the people and in our exchange programs. As I mentioned earlier, there's over 1,000 people in Zimbabwe who've benefited from our exchange programs. And when I meet them around town, I always hear from them what a life-changing experience it was for them. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to send everybody in Zimbabwe on an exchange program. So one of the ways we maximize use of our resources is to bring speakers to Zimbabwe so that they can impart their expertise and their knowledge on groups of people. We have someone here right now who's teaching sort of latest cutting edge rehabilitation techniques. We had a speaker back in April who came to ZITF in Bulawayo to talk about AI and entrepreneurship and drone technology. She spoke to packed houses to people who were interested in learning how she made her career in those fields. These are exciting, innovative fields, and lots of Zimbabweans want to hear about it. We have speakers coming to talk about the latest in U.S. mining and agriculture and cybersecurity. So these people create these ties, they impart their knowledge, they work side by side with Zimbabwean professionals, and that helps Zimbabweans also learn more about us. They get to appreciate what the U.S. stands for and hopefully develop some affection for us, be inspired to innovate and use what they've learned from their American counterparts to solve Zimbabwean problems. Our speaker programs also help our Zimbabwean participants develop ties to U.S. institutions so that even when their programs are over, they can sometimes reach back and continue that networking to see how they can apply that in the Zimbabwean context. So these folks that have participated in our programs are really the champions for U.S. technology and ideas and innovation. We hope that will create a multiplicity of ties, but also create more demand for U.S. innovation and ingenuity.
Mm-hmm. And you have mentioned that there is need for staying in touch, and it is always done by the embassy. But I also need you to elaborate exactly how does the embassy stay in touch with them and support their work back home?
Well, we do have a very active alumni association. Our alumni participate in networking events. They have access to resources, some support networks where they can use U.S. government resources to amplify their work here in Zimbabwe, stay in touch with each other, share ideas, bounce ideas off of each other, and also stay in touch with people that they met when they were in the U.S. And we think that creates a real innovation ecosystem and a demand for U.S. technology and innovation.
Now, how do you foresee interacting with Zimbabwe as it occupies its non-permanent seat on the Security Council starting in January 2027?
Well, we were so happy to see that Zimbabwe won its seat with such overwhelming support, and we're really looking forward to its 2-year term on the Security Council and working much more closely with Zimbabwe on global issues. When we're here, we often talk about health and commerce and domestic regulations and so on that affect our countries here within the borders of Zimbabwe. But of course, in New York, we're looking forward to talking with Zimbabwe about things that affect the entire world, particularly our mutual security, peace-building efforts across the continent. Zimbabwe will play a very important role in liaising between the UN Security Council and the African Union, for example, representing all African countries on the Security Council. So looking forward to having much more substantive conversations with the government about issues, everything from Sudan to DRC to non-proliferation around the world. So should be an exciting 2 years starting in January 2027.
Definitely. And this one, Ambassador, should be close to your heart because now you have approximately a year left in Zimbabwe. What do you hope to do in the next year?
Well, I would like to see that relationship get a lot more substantive, have much deeper conversations with the government, and really start to solve some of these problems that we've both been talking about for the last couple decades. I think there's some decades of distrust and some talking past each other, and I think it's time that we both roll up our sleeves and have really substantive conversations about how we can solve those problems and take the relationship forward. Really double down on that trade and investment, the mutual prosperity agenda, and talk about what we can do around the world together to solve things that affect all of our people.
Definitely a legacy that is going to be left back in Zimbabwe and also between the two countries as well. Ambassador Tremont, it has been an honor being with you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Diplomat Couch and sharing how the United States and Zimbabwe partnership is investing in people and health and opportunity. We really do appreciate your time and your commitment to this friendship.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And now that was all we had for you today on the Diplomat's Couch. Until the next one, it's goodbye.